So, all right, guys, we got to get this one right. On three, we're going to say, welcome back to Extraordinary Thoughts for on their mind. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back to our mind.
And we back.
That'll work right there.
Yeah.
And we back. And we
Yeah.
back. And we back. And we
We did our
back. And we
Y'all did y'all best. And that's all that matters.
What's going on, everybody? It's that ordinary podcast with the extraordinary thoughts that tells you to stop being great and be extraordinary. I'm your host, Demetrius Thigpen, also known as Meech Speaks, and welcome back to another episode of Extraordinary Thoughts for the Ordinary Mind. What the fuck happened on the intro, guys? Like, get it together. Get it together, or somebody's going to get fired. But we made it. Jesus Christ, we made it to the end of the week. Now, I really want to share something with y'all because what started off as just a coincidence has now become a common occurrence. And when I say a common occurrence, every time I look down at my phone, I see 11:29. Now, I'm not going to say every time because obviously, there's different times, but I'm talking about like randomly, I will see the number 11:29. And I get it. Yes, I'm going to see it in the afternoon and I'm also going to see it in the morning. I completely get that. Let me phrase that. I'm going to see it in the morning. I'm going to see it at night. I know. But what I'm trying to say is that I have been seeing that number frequently. And it started off as a common, a coincidence, like, oh, shoot, 11:29, let me take a picture, click. But now has become very frequent. So for those who don't understand what the significance of 11:29 is, I was born November 29th. So it is a big deal for me to see it. No, it's not really a big deal, but I mean, you get my drift. Anyways. So what I had to ask myself is like, why do I keep seeing that number? Like, what is it trying to tell me? Because, I'm a firm believer that, things happen in life for a purpose, on purpose. Something just doesn't randomly keep happening to you. So I went on ahead and I looked it up and it's your angel number. And I implore everyone to look up, their angel numbers if you believe in that type of stuff. But 11:29 is a humanitarian vibration and your angels ask that you look to how you can be of service to humanity through serving your divine life purpose. Angel number 11:29 prompts you to fully live and serve your divine life purpose and soul mission. Now, this connects with me on two different levels. The first one is because, I'm a firm believer that everyone deserves to become the version of themselves that they were destined to be. And I don't know what that version is. I don't. But two, this connects differently because of how I felt when I started speaking in 2019. See, for those who don't know, the history of it, I remember speaking at a Lance Corporal seminar, and I've been speaking in the military for almost 6 years, going on 7. And, like doing McMab and teaching X, Y, and Z, but I've never really spoken at Lance Corporal seminar. I've never been a guest speaker before. So here I am guest speaking at this Lance Corporal seminar, speaking to military members. And I remember when this dream ring came up to me, she get to crying, talking about like how what I had said really resonated and connected with her. What I had said resonated and connected with her. But, like usual, I didn't think too much of it because I'm accustomed to talking to Marines. But I mean, the way she told me, though, really, it resonated with me. And I say it resonated with me because it made me think that I might actually have something. And I say that because when I talk about like, your life purpose, what are you supposed to be doing on earth? I did not know. And I tell you right now, I was one of those people that, when we get in the military and they're going to get to 20 years and then figure out what their next chapter in life was instead of using those 20 years to set themselves up for their next chapter. Yeah, I was going to be one of those people. So the next week, fortunately, I was going to go speak at a college and California State San Marcos. I'm speaking alongside 4 other panelists. Outside of me, everybody has a master's degree. Outside of me, everybody's making 6 figures. Outside of me, I'm the only one in the military. And I'm sitting on this panel and I really want to tell somebody because I don't know who needs to hear this, but stop psyching yourself out. If you weren't supposed to be there, you wouldn't be there. And that's exactly what I told myself as I was sitting up there, is that I'm not supposed to be here. I don't know why they brought me, X, Y, and Z. But in reality, I was in the right place at the right time for for the right moment to do the right thing. Because when I finally stood up and spoke, despite the fact that I did not go to college like the people there, despite the fact that I don't have some pristine job like the people there, my message was able to reach everybody within that room. And, I always tell people about, the message of 100. I go out there, I might speak to 100 people, but 10 people might only resonate with my message. But the thing that a lot of people don't know is that those 10 are going to go tell their 10, and that 10 will tell their 10, and that 10 will tell their 10. And soon my message will reach the thousands when I only really spoke to 100. And that's actually what just happened. And I was just taken away by what just happened, that I had finally realized what my purpose in life was. What was it? Like I didn't know. And when it finally hit me, and I mean, it hit me like a time, I'm talking about bow, right in the face. I could not help but cry. Because for the first time, I finally felt alive and I knew exactly what I was supposed to be doing in life. So I challenge you this week. Let me rephrase, because the week's over with. This weekend, to ask yourself, what am I here for? What is my purpose? What is it that I need to serve? Who is it that I need to serve? What do I need to serve? What am I doing here? What is my existence on this earth for? And don't stress yourself trying to figure out what your life purpose is. But I would implore you to, start pouring some energy into that realm, just to ask yourself, like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, you weren't born to just work and die. So, why don't you just go ahead and just ask yourself, what are you doing here? But let's get into today's episode. So as I continue about life purpose and, just asking yourself what you here on earth for, 2018, 19 was, my God. I will say that pressure makes diamonds, but it also crumbles coal. And I can assure you, I almost got crumbled under that pressure. I can tell you right now, that storm almost took this little boat, because as we get to the next portion within my life and try to figure out what we're supposed to be doing, I can assure you that I'm sitting back thinking like, God damn, the moments leading up to this, Jesus. And, one thing that I really want to just say is that before I realized that I was going to be podcasting, before I realized I was going to be speaking, before I realized I was going to be a published author, I honestly just thought that I was going to do my 20 years in the military. And I don't know. I guess I work for like UPS or like something. I don't fucking know. I really didn't have it planned out, to be honest with you. And, because I didn't have it planned out, there would be times where I would find myself stressed out about promotion. I will find myself stressed out about retention. I will find myself stressed out about these things. And I'm not going to sit here on this platform and say like, hey, it's going to be okay. You're going to get through it. But what I will say is that you have to figure out what you want to do in this world, not what you want to do in the military. What do you want to do in this world? And the reason why I say what you want to do in this world is because two things are going to happen. You are going to get out of the military and you are going to return back to society. And when you do not have an idea of what you are supposed to be doing within society, you're going to be a part of society, hindering it again. And when I say hindering it, I don't mean necessarily bringing society down, but you might find yourself working at fucking Walmart or something of that nature. You might find yourself taking orders from somebody who just only has that experience at that workforce, while you have X amount of experience, but you're just there because you need to go to school or whatever the fuck. So I tell you to find your purpose. You see what I'm saying? That's why. And let me really just give you some context of how lack of purpose I had. And I'm not even going to use it in that sense right there. Let me give you some context of where my mindset was in 2018. 2018 is when my last child was born. And as we sat in the hospital, as we were preparing for her arrival, I get a call. I get a call on my phone, and it's my staff sergeant. And, everybody in my shop knows that I'm at the hospital right now. Everybody knows that I'm expecting the birth of our last child. Everybody knows this, but I get this call and it's, hey, what's going on, buddy? And and anybody ever calls you some shit like that, like just understand that they're being facetious and they're on some bullshit. It's already some bullshit, and I already knew the call was some bullshit. But I'm already prepared to partake in whatever's going on. And when I say partake in whatever's going on, he calls me and he asks me about an inspection because so-and-so is messing up the inspection. Why did you feel the need to call me while I am at the hospital dealing with the birth of my child? I don't know. But rather than say, what the fuck do you want me to do? I turned around and said, don't worry, I'll be on my way. Like I'm literally prepared to leave the hospital, return to work, to do a job that I'm 100% sure somebody else could have done. And, I may laugh at it now, but I was dead set on doing that. Dead set on doing that. And, I try not to get mad at myself about the things that I do in the past because I was doing the best that I could then with what I had then and what I knew then. But let's just be frank here. How many of us have been in that situation where we have done some stupid shit like that? Because let's just be frank here. That's fucking stupid. Let's just be frank here. That's fucking selfish. Let's just be frank here. We really need to take a step back and say to ourselves, that's fucking, come on, what are we doing? And, I try not to get mad at myself, but moving forward, I promised myself that I would never allow things like that to ever happen, nor will I ever put my Marines in a situation like that. And I'm not going to say woe is me because, obviously woe is me and never be woe is me because we're going to move forward with it. But what I will say right now is that I don't know who needs to hear this, but fuck the Marines. God damn. Like, fuck that job. Like, fuck the coworkers, fuck the overall objective. And, I know what you're thinking. Damn, he just said fuck the Marines. He just said it, but it ain't fuck the Marines. It's just fuck the Marines. And I really got to say that because it really means a lot more. And I promise you we will get into that episode. It really means a lot more than what I'm just saying. But I got to slap you in the face right now to get your attention. So I'm going to say it again just so we know. So I know I got your attention. Fuck the Marines. Okay? And now that I got your attention, start worrying about yourself. Start worrying about yourself. And I don't mean that in a sense of drop your pack. No, I don't mean it that way. What I do mean is that how many of us right now are actually taking care of ourselves? How many of us are? As you sit here in 2020 and you have paid attention to the coronavirus and how it has struck the populace and changed society and the economy, with the, current layoffs and everything of that nature, people are trying to figure out how they're going to pay their mortgage and put food on the table because they have no income coming in. How many of us are actually taking care of ourselves and setting ourselves up to walk in our purpose or find our purpose? Not that many. And I say not that many because just like we have seen those people that wait to the last minute to when they get their 4 years and try to figure out life, go to college because, that's the best thing that can happen to you, given the fact that you could have went to college during your time there. But you know what? I'm not even going to say that because let's just be frank here. We dedicate so much of our lives to one thing and being that better leader, to being that good leader, that you put everything else on the back burner. You do. Your family life is shit, but because you want to ensure that the mission is successful. That's the reason why. You're going through your second divorce because, you want to ensure that, the Marines are taken care of, which ain't nothing wrong. But when we say we're taking care of the Marines, you are one of the Marines. So are you even taking care of yourself? We talk about lead by example, but the only example that we tend to teach our subordinates sometimes is that it's okay to go through a full-on fucking depression. It's okay to drink your problems away. It's okay to develop some form of anxiety and other mental issues for the sake of the mission and everyone else around us because we are so busy putting everyone in front of us getting fucked over. And then we find ourselves saying, fuck the Marines. So when I tell you fuck the Marines, what I'm really trying to tell you is take a step back because I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of people have it under control. You are the only one hindering yourself right now. Let me rephrase. You're the only one stopping yourself from getting shit done. Like, when I finally was able to take a step back and just say to myself, like, all right, like, you got to worry about you sometimes. And when I say you got to worry about you got to worry about your family. When I say you got to worry about you, you really got to worry about what your next step in life is going to be. Because as we speak right now, somebody is about to drop their Appendix J and get ready for retirement. And they have no fucking idea what they're going to do, because for the past 20 years or 20x amount of years, they have really been putting everyone up before them, and they have sacrificed a lot. And I'm telling you right now, I've been one of those leaders. I am one of those leaders. You see what I'm saying? I will put so much of me in the back burner so that way you are successful. And because I have done that, I have reaped the benefits of nothing sometimes, of nothing. And once again, you know, we lead without rewards, but at the same time, we need to start, you know, leading ourselves. We need to start taking care of ourselves. So once again, it's not fuck the Marines, but it is fuck the Marines. It's fuck them when you really have some shit that you have on your plate to take care of. And this whole nonsense of, you know, my professional life and my personal life, they can never be together. Like, I have to keep these separated. I don't know who told you that, but they were a fucking idiot. And I say that they were a fucking idiot because they did not understand how internal and external pressures kind of worked in our lives. They did not understand that our professional life, it does not end at 1600 and then it just picks up the next day at fucking Reveille. That's not how that works. Your personal life doesn't end on the moment that you wake up and put your uniform back on. That's not how that fucking works. How many of us have I had to make funeral arrangements on a deployment. You don't think that bothered me? You don't think those emotions had to get repressed? I've also had to wake up in the middle of the night to go take care of something at work. Leave my entire family the day after Thanksgiving because some shit happened the day after Thanksgiving. Our personal lives and our professional lives, they intertwine and they are married. But the thing is that we will rather separate the two when they become chaotic than organize the two so that way we can have some compliance. I don't know who needs to hear this, but your professional life does play into your personal life, because the things that happen at work will be still happening until you resolve them, even when you go into your personal life. And the shit that happens in your personal life has a lot to do with the results at your workplace. So unless you resolve the issues within your personal life, you're going to have an issue in your professional life. So rather than try to divorce the two like we do in all military things, that's why we lead in the high military of divorces. Marry the two and get them in compliance. See, I'm happy that I led with fuck the Marines, because somebody right now will never understand what I'm saying, because they're chastising others for utilizing social media to create a platform for themselves or a personal brand. Somebody right now, you know, I'm glad I said fuck the Marines, because somebody right now is going to punish somebody because they have a college midterm, they have a college exam. You see what I'm saying? Because we have the mission. And I really want this to be said right here. I really want this one to be said. Train your Marines so you can handle your personal life. I will say that right there. Train your Marines so you can handle your personal life. The reason why you probably get called back, the reason why you probably can never you have to divorce the two rather than get the two compliance, is because you choose to put everything on the front load. You choose to carry the burden rather than train your Marines. Let me rephrase that. We're training them. We're just not allowing them to execute on the training. That's really what it is. I've trained the Marines. Trust me, the Marines know the job, but I'm so busy doing the job, they can't utilize the training that I have taught them. So not only do I implore you to find your purpose, I do implore you to finally let go of the reins and allow them to execute on the things that you have spent X amount of years, X amount of months teaching them. Because the whole goal was to train your replacement. Because you will be replaced. You will be replaced. And this isn't that anti-military mindset. This is to make better leaders and set us up for more success mindset. You will be replaced. The world's finest institution ain't the world's finest institution because you're in the world's finest institution. The world's finest institution was there before you and it will be there after you. The goal is to help it continue to be the world's finest by your service, by your training, by your guidance. Because after X amount of years, if you haven't said fuck the Marines then, you're gonna end up saying it in a worse way possible because now you're being fucked by, not by the Marines, by your own decision. And that's what I want a lot of people to understand. It's you. It's you. Nobody told you to put everything in front, but it's something that we were taught. And I say it just like that because I know I just said it. Nobody told you, but it was something that we taught. It's a learned behavior because we've seen it. We'll never hear somebody say, well, I'm putting everything in front of me, so I can fuck up my entire, not take care of my life. So that way you can take care of your life. That's not the leadership. That's not it. Because I can't serve you. I can't serve you when I got shit going on in my world. I can't. And that's a hard pill that we as leaders have to learn to swallow. That it will become almost impossible for you to serve your Marines, serve your subordinates. And this just isn't in the military. This is you at your workplace. This is you within your family. You can't be of service to anybody when you're malfunctioning all the time. You can't be of service to anybody when you got your oil light on, your engine light on, and X amount of lights on, but you continue to ignore those lights because you are constantly fixing everybody else and you have not done any maintenance on yourself. So I will close this episode out once again with fuck the Marines. It ain't fuck the Marines, but it is fuck the Marines. Okay? I need you to hear that. Because it ain't fuck the Marines, it's just fuck the Marines. You need to get your shit together. Because if you don't get your shit together, you're going to end up falling apart. That your A/She's got it under control. The shop ain't going to burn down without you. You just burning down without them. And just like that, another extraordinary thought left this ordinary mind. I hope you enjoyed this episode half as much as I enjoyed making it. Stay tuned Mondays and Fridays. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Meech Speaks. Once again, that's Meech Speaks. Meech is spelled MEECH. Don't forget to share this podcast, subscribe to this podcast, follow this podcast, pass this podcast to somebody because this podcast was dedicated to helping everyone become a better version of themselves. Even though I don't know what that type of version is, I just know that you can be better. Lastly, don't forget to grab your copy of The Extraordinary Thought from the Ordinary Mind, available on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles. I think there's an electrical copy. You know what it is. Stay hungry, stay motivated. I'm out.